Let's see if I succeeded in feeding my totem the right amount of Protem. Follow along with me, YK2012, as I try and understand what's going on with all these totems, how to feed them, and when is the best time to feed them in order to maximize your Protem returns.
I'm YK2012, founder of the Upland Guide. I'm here to unlock the secrets of the Upland metaverse. On this channel, you can find everything you need to build your Upland empire. Expert tutorials, winning strategies, pro tips and tricks, and a lot more. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay ahead of the game. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the Upland metaverse, that knowledge is truly your most valuable asset.
Now, totems are completely new and everyone's just learning about their totems. And I'm going to walk you through with my thoughts about my totem. And hopefully, that by sharing my thought process, it can give you some ideas and help you to understand how you should be interacting with your totem. If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I highly suggest learning more about totems before you go and start feeding your own. And do so by clicking the link in the upper right hand corner. So you can go and you can see the traits of your totem, and each totem is completely unique. So we can see here the different traits of my totem. It's a cheetah, a fantasy input. It's blue, so it has one of the rarer frequencies. It's a medium size, and it has a hexagonal base. In order to activate your totem, you have to spend a certain amount of Protem on it, and you have to do this in the first 5 days of Upland announcing the opening of the cycle. I decided to activate mine almost right away, because within the first 24 hours of the very first totem cycle, you will be getting a badge. So I'm deciding to spend 47 Protem on my very first spend, and in order to get to that number, I went into Upland's Discord and I looked a little bit in the different channels where people are talking about how much they're spending on their totems. Some people have created charts and graphs, so I took a look at that. I tried to make some sense of it. I wasn't really able to decipher anything concrete from there, so I tried to make an educated guess with the information that I had, and the parameter that I was really looking at is the style, the input, which means how much Protem you can actually spend without it going to waste. If you don't spend enough, you're obviously missing out on potential yields and earnings of more Protem, but if you spend too much, then some of it will just go to waste. So I looked at other players that had totems that also had the fantasy style. Some people had spent 30 and it said they spent too much, and some people had spent 40 and it said they spent too little. So I wasn't really able to get a really good indication. I've seen successful spends from anywhere from 15 to about 60 or 65. So I figured I'd give a shot and put in 47, and this is what I got. It says try spending more next time. So I'm happy with that message. That means I can feed it quite a lot of Protem, and I'm going to try maybe 57 next time. The question is, when is the next time? Upland doesn't say, and it's for us to guess and to learn your own totem. But what you definitely don't want to do is feed it again immediately. I've seen people spend 10 Protem, get the message saying that they're not spending enough, then they'll go ahead and immediately spend another 20, and they'll get the same message maybe, then they'll spend 30 and then 40, trying to find that optimum number immediately. When that happens, you're going to get this message saying that you are spending too frequently, and essentially you are wasting all of that Protem. The name of the game is to spend once per interval at the middle of that interval. So if your interval happens to be 24 hours, you're going to want to spend your Protem on the 12th hour of that 24-hour interval. Now, a number of people have already asked me, well, YK2012, what happens at the very beginning when you activate your totem? How can it be in the middle? And I really have no idea. But now moving forward, if my interval is that 24 hours, then I'm going to want to come back in 12 hours from the time that I activated it in order to try and spend my next Protem spend. We know that the interval frequency ranges between 0 and 50 hours. Now, since I've got a blue totem, which is one of the rarer ones, I'm going to assume that it's going to be a longer time interval. So if it's up to 50 hours, I'm probably going to say, for the sake of rounding, let's just take up to 48 hours, which means that half of that will be 24 hours. So I'm going to want to come back in 24 hours, or maybe even a little bit less, and I'm going to try and feed my totem once again. Now I'm playing this a little bit more conservative. I could feed it a little bit earlier, and that's probably the right thing to do, but also by waiting those additional few hours, I'm going to gain some additional information from other people who are writing in Discord as to how frequently they are, and I might end up changing my mind between the time you're watching this and the time I feed my totem once again. But again, this is just my thought process, and I thought I'd share this with you guys. Now, I hope that on my next totem spend, I will get an indicator which can help me understand if I have in fact waited too long to spend more Protem. Having said that, after 2 Protem spends, I still don't think there's going to be enough information for me to understand what exactly the penalties will be as part of the shape of the totem base. I'm going to have to try and rely on other people in the community to maybe understand how to decipher each of those different totem bases. Again, this is a work in progress. It's going to be impossible for people to figure out just based on their totem the entire graph and how they're going to spend on it in the very first couple of days. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and watch me as I try and understand my totem. If you have any tips or insights, please leave them in the comments and I'll see what I can do. But I wish everyone best of luck with their totems as well. And head over to the Upland Discord where there are a lot of people talking about it and you can try and understand how yours works as well.